Well, welcome to those of you that are here live, and welcome to those of you who are watching the recording. Two of my favorite people have joined us today. I'm Denise Mend, one of the leads at Growth U, and joining me today, Annette Forsyth on the East Coast in New Jersey, and Laura Hyman, also on the East, but not quite as East, in North Carolina, near Asheville. And both Laura and Annette are master trainers and advisors in Growth U. And we all started together and we're going to just welcome people in as they come. Welcome, Marcia. Annette and Laura started as I did as participants, individuals who are working on our growth. And we were attracted to Growth U for a variety of reasons, which I hope they'll share a little nugget of why they were attracted initially today. And more importantly, as we've all been on a growth journey together, we have discovered tools that support us in really becoming who we truly are, authentically, deeply on the inside. And every single one of you who is out there watching this, you're on that path too. You're already on your way, well on your way, if you're attracted to watching this. And what we've discovered is that when you really truly start to open your heart, because I think we have a saying here in Growth U, there is no there. So when you start to open your heart, incredible things happen. So many of you might wonder, well, how do I even start to do that? So you will leave today with a couple of key ideas, tools to start to listen and open your heart in the areas of your life that you wish to do that. Now, we suggest you do it in all areas, and we know that sometimes it's baby steps. So, as I said, Annette is an author. She was a business owner until recently, and has supported many people. She owned a physiotherapy practice, and I should say physical therapy in the States. I'm a physiotherapist in my other life, um, and has four daughters, many grandchildren, and has one of the most open hearts that I know. And then Laura Hyman also was a business owner and an esthetician and supported people and listened to people for years and years and really should have a counseling degree in how she supported people in her early career. And then as she discovered Growth U and became an advisor, continues, they both continue to support people in such an open-hearted way. So I couldn't think of two more um, more heart-led people to talk about what it means to open your heart. And so um, I'm just gonna, I went too far. What I wanted to ask these two first is what does open-hearted feel like? Because many of you might really think, what does it even mean to be open-hearted? And how do I know if I'm behaving in an open-hearted way? And all of you will have a little inkling of how, but I really wanted both of these women to talk about how it feels. And this picture is some of us were at a retreat here in my hometown of Naramata earlier in the spring, and we certainly opened our hearts as we did a yoga practice together for a couple of hours. And so this is us definitely feeling open-hearted. So Annette, I'm going to start with you, and I've got a few little prompts here of some of the things we may feel when we are open-hearted. But I want to hear from you. What what did you initially feel when you started to open your heart more as you started to really know what that even meant?
Wow. Okay. There's a huge irony that you started with this question. I'm just, had somebody ask me just this. How did you learn to listen with your heart?
Mm,
So what does it feel like to me? To me, it's peace. To me, it's a space where there's peace, there's calm, there's ownership, there's everything I need. Because, you know, we only have responsibility for ourselves. You can hope people will react some way. You could hope that they might feel some way, but the truth of the matter is begins and ends with each of us. And so when I learned what it felt like to be open-hearted, it's only been recently.
Hmm.
I didn't know that was that. I
Hmm.
didn't know, right? When you're raising a family, we've all led busy lives and had lives before today. And oh my goodness, life would get so crazy. And there would just be days and you would just count on your automatic responses just to get through. And you never stopped to think about the effect it took on you because it was just stuff that had to get done. Well, wasn't I lucky to have the lesson never too late, right? To get the lesson that um, I had everything. Number one, I had everything I needed within me. And I didn't have to worry about other people because I learned how to love. Well, I had to learn how to love myself first. And before you can love anyone, before you can coach anyone, before you can advise anyone, if you can't love yourself first, you'll be no use to them at all.
Hmm.
So to open my heart was huge for me to learn how to love myself and to give myself the grace for not always being 100% perfect, because that somewhere a line got, knocked into my head. And so I get to go out into every day now with this beautiful sense of peace and a heart full of gratitude. And I just get to be loved. And, if it was a few years ago and I heard me saying this thing, I would like, oh God, she never got over, the 70s, her hippie days, or whatever you want to call it. But the truth of the matter is it's helped strengthen my beliefs, right? Having an open heart, because I had to believe I could do those things. They were there, but I had to start with the belief. And now just to be able to lead with my heart, to think with my heart. And I never put that into terms before. And I find it a very special thought to
Hmm.
think with your heart. And I had something happen this morning and I got some news that I was unaware of. And my first instinct was, oh, you can't reach out because you'll be in the way. You'll be an imposition. And so the timid side of me immediately jumped in and said, no, 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 no. It's bad. And then the others, like it's the two angels on your shoulder. Then the other side went, what are you talking about? That's right in your heart. And it dawned on me, that's what it means when you think with your heart, when you follow what you know is right. And you will always get that feeling. Grandma Spendio said so. My grandma always said so. You will always know if something is wrong, but you will never know if it's right. And
Hmm.
I use those words to live by. And it's helped, all of the little things that I've brought from the past and from the work we do here has brought me to this beautiful place that I get to be. And I get to stay there. And because it all comes down to it all comes to my responsibility, to how I respond, how I react, and what I give. And we see things in other people, we see reflections of ourselves and other people. And so when we're giving love out to others, we're giving it to ourselves as well.
Absolutely. And I love that you picked a word that wasn't on my list. You actually touched on, you said calm, but you said peace and ownership. So powerful reflections of when you think with your heart, which I know Laura's going to talk about in a second. That is a feeling. So thank you, Annette, because yes, when we love ourselves first, it's it's so much easier to support others. Yeah. Laura, what does open-hearted feel like for you?
Ooh, well, I gotta agree with Annette. There is a piece. Um, but I think when I first started realizing, like Annette, it was just a couple years ago. I've been doing this work for about 10 years. Um, and I realized that what I didn't have was choice in my life. I didn't know I had choice. So when I joined this community, that was one of the first things realized was that it was my choice how I wake up. It was my choice how I show up. It was using that energy started fueling my heart. And what I realized was that I spent my entire life giving to everyone else, making sure the kids were cared for, making sure the parents, the family, the friends, everybody, and never filled my cup, my own cup. And it became very low energy. So what I realized was a couple years ago, I realized that I needed to overfill my cup
Mm.
so that all of the extra went to everybody else. And that was empowering. When I started realizing that I create what I'm living in, I started building a foundation on that. I started building a foundation of energy of love. And when you're vibrating in a love space, you feel good when you see a commercial on TV that touches your heart, when somebody says something that triggers a little something in your memory that touches your heart. Those are beautiful things that I think most people, well, I can speak for myself, I didn't pay attention to. I spent most of my life making sure everything else was okay. As soon as I started filling my cup, I became happier. I became more energy to help others. I started realizing that I could listen to somebody and be so open-hearted about it that it didn't affect me because I tended to take on everybody's energy. When I was filling their cups, I wasn't saving anything for myself. So I think that open-hearted living for me has been just the most empowering state I've ever been in. And it's boiling over to my grandchildren, to my kids. They see a different side of me because I was always very low energy, very trying to make sure everybody else's world was the best. You're really not doing your family or friends any favors by living that way. As soon as I stepped up and started showing up for me, um, my health started becoming better. I found this community through a nutrition company. I needed to change my mindset of how I was living and didn't have any of the tools to know that that's what needed to be done. And being in a community like this, Growth U, has given me the power to give unconditional love because it's what I receive here. There are no conditions, no matter how I show up in 10 years.
Mhm.
I am accepted and loved. And it's such a simple thing that I want everyone to know that it's at your fingertips.
Mm.
We all need a little bit of help sometimes, right? So you read a book or you look up something, and what we have here is something that's going to give it to you every day for 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. It's it's that extra little something I needed to keep me going in the right direction for my health, my mental health, for my heart health, for my soul, to be able to be in this state of pure love and acceptance. And it's really fun to play with. When you show up somewhere and you feel an energy that's not quite off, you can like turn your energy up.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, people are smiling and people are going, whew, taking a breath. I mean, we all need to take a breath.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, everybody right now, I just want you to take a big breath, just and a little bit longer out. And as soon as you do that, right? As soon as you allow yourself to take a breath like that, to me, that's what often open-hearted feels like. I think it's that calm, loving, relaxed state that you're just describing, Laura, that when you walk into a room, you look around and the energy feels what you're describing. Yeah. And you know, Rod and the team have developed some new isms, some new statements, kind of rules, if you will, around open-hearted living or having an open-hearted life. And so these are just two of, I think, 24 that they kind of whittle them all down to, and there's probably 12 main ones. Love first always, that we choose love over fear in every moment, remembering that it is our true nature, and that we communicate from the heart, listening with presence and speaking with compassion. And this is what Laura and Annette have described, is that, you know, life can be challenging. Annette just talked about getting some news and wondering, well, do I reach out or not? Laura talked about walking into a room and feeling safe or not. Life, you know, this work is not just being positive. And these two women will tell you that. It's about what are the choices we make when challenges come up, and or when we are supporting others, and or when we are supporting ourselves. So, Annette, I wanted to ask you about, you know, as you have chosen love over fear, what is a practice that supports you in that focus of choosing love over fear?
It's the gratitude. You have to start with gratitude, right? Because that gratitude is going to keep you away from being a victim, at least in my world. Um, so that I think that's the most important part. Because when you sit in that space of gratitude and appreciation, the next it only feels natural that love is the next thing that follows, because that peace and appreciation, well, no, the gratitude and appreciation, sorry about that, bring that sense of peace, right? And then you get to realize. So, you know, every morning on the last call I shared, I start my gratitude every morning. Well, when I was working, it was the minute I walked out my front door and just seeing life outside, the birds, the animals, the blue sky, the green grass. And yeah, this was all given me today. I get to do this again today. I get to go out and make a difference. So for me, that's the most important thing, because there are times you could be challenged and think you've lost your gratitude. And that puts you in a really dark place. That's not a nice place to be. It leaves you feeling very hopeless. And I'd rather be hopeful and you know that there's so much good around me. Look at how I'm starting the day. Thank you, God. I woke up another morning and I get to do something.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Grateful for every morning. Laura, what's a practice that helps you to choose love over fear?
Mm. Well, I don't play in fear anymore. For the last couple of years, I play in love. And when I, I guess it's building a foundation of energy. And seeing what that feels like, right? It makes me want to love more. It makes me want to be who I am authentically. Um, I think the biggest thing I have a perspective now. I have a different perspective on anything that comes into my view. Um, and I'm gonna throw love into that perspective. And a lot of times, sometimes it's not pleasant, yet I'm not in fear. It may not feel good, but I've come to where I like how this love feels on me. I like how it comes out of me now. So I work very hard, and it is work. Anything we do in life is we're putting effort into. Um, I guess I put play on it,
Mhm.
make it fun. I spent my whole life in fear of what people thought of me, in fear of what I did, in fear is it right, in fear is it, I mean, fear for everything. And when you finally realize that you are love, you are your natural state is happiness. We're the ones that get up and change it because somebody cut you off or and you get mad or remember that you are love and it can go out to everyone. So when that person cuts me off now, I send them some love because, man, it must have been a really shitty morning for them, right? And it's okay because I'm not mad, and that's where I'm at now is realizing that everybody deserves to feel this. So if I can, like I said, walk into a room and change the energy, right? Because love can't be denied. I mean, as mad as you want to be, some people I will like fight me to the tooth and nail, but they'll end up going, ah, it's that breath, right? It's accepting what's happening, it's understanding whatever is happening, and then just find appreciation, gratitude. It's like Annette said, gratitude is the best way to this. So no matter what you're facing, we call it here AUA.
Yeah.
Find a way to accept, understand, and appreciate because we're all just trying to get through everything. Nobody has all the rule books. We're all here just figuring it out and practicing.
And the fun thing about it is that we get to do it together. And so that, I talked about gratitude. Laura talks about a model called AUA. The cool thing is if you want to continue, you as in all of you watching the recording, there are a few ways that you can engage. And I think some of you likely already are. Many of you may be receiving daily growth already. If you're not, you need to. It's a free email every day to discipline your focus in focusing on an open heart. So you get a prompt and you get to choose how you want to go forward in the day. The other way that you can, of course, get into this community is to join us in a program. And so Annette and Marcia, who's here listening in, are going to be leading Real Power, which is one of our premier open-hearted programs, starting November 10th. So a week from next Monday. So Annette, why should people, why must they, if they want to start to open their hearts, why must they take Real Power starting on November 10th?
Well, I have an opinion about this.
Mhm.
Why must they? They really don't have a choice. They have to. It's the most beautiful gift they'll give themselves. When I think back, now I'm in well, as my sister likes to call it, the last quarter. So now that I'm in the last quarter, here's the thing. I wish I had these tools when I was a young mom. Oh my goodness, what I would have done with these tools. Now, the truth is, was I ready at that point? Probably not. But what I would wish for everybody to have an opportunity. This program is an opportunity to learn how to love yourself. And a lot of us don't grow up learning that.
Mm-mm.
You know, I come from a very strong ethnic background that was all about respect and honor, and there was a hierarchy, and so I never saw a lot of examples of my mom doing anything for herself, self-care. So learning about the true meaning of self-care, and it's a lot more than going for a manicure or a pedicure. No, what it is the time you take to yourself, right? Those 5 minutes you might take. I loved one of the greatest things I ever heard was that you could actually meditate in 3 seconds. And boy, did I learn how to take advantage of that when my life was crazy. And now I've been blessed with more time. So um, my efforts of self-care actually have been able to grow. But to find, even for people to find the confidence in themselves, the way we present ourselves to the world, if you're walking out with a victim mentality, you're just asking for the world to stomp all over you, right? You're so down and dragged out, and it doesn't take much to turn that around. So to be able to walk in public and to know that um, you get to lead with love, you get to be authentic, right? I don't think any of us were born wanting to be horrible people, right?
Mm.
But someplace along the line, right, the way we treat each other, everything changes as we get older and life gets busy and people's blinders go on, and you just don't think outside of yourself. So everybody needs this program, just to learn how to take 5 minutes, take a breath, believe in everything that's in you.
Yeah.
And that's life-changing.
Believe in everything that's in you. Yes, it is life-changing. Laura, why should people join us?
Oh, because it's never too late to build a new foundation.
Mm.
You could be 16, 18, or 70. It's never too late. And when you can start building your foundation with love, you start seeing all the abundance in your life, right? You start really seeing the abundance rather than all the scarcity, because fear comes with the scarcity. So when you're in a loving place, feel the abundance of that. And real power, woo, you're going to be able to get so many tools within 30 days to realize it's things you just never realized before. And they're so simple. It's just you showing up for you, you loving you.
Mhm.
And I think when you start doing that, all the things in your life start aligning.
Mhm.
The stars align, everything does, and when you can feel that peace within yourself, it's there. It's like Annette said, we all have everything we need inside of us. Some of us just never learned how to look deep or how to just dig a little deeper. That can be fearful.
Mhm.
So we're here to tell you that there is so much love in you. Let it out. Let it come up to the surface and you feel it first. And I think that's what real power gives you the tools to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I just add one little bit?
Yes.
Just one
Yeah.
little bit.
Yes.
Everybody watching, people already do these things. It's very likely you're already doing these things and you don't even realize it.
Mhm.
So imagine if you start doing these things with intention behind it, and it just makes it so much more powerful. So, to put that intention gives it all the power in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know when people start, when they discipline their focus and they have a daily intention, you start to rewire your neural pathways. And when you are supported by a community who accepts you with empathy and non-judgment, you listen and hear stories of gratitude. And so that also helps to rewire your physiology. So there's beautiful science behind this method of really focusing on the love that we are all authentically, deeply, truly inside.
Mhm.
So we hope to see you in a little over a week. Actually, I guess it's like almost under 2 weeks, isn't it? Yeah, we're not quite. We're Halloween on Friday. So please join us November 10th. Marcia and Annette will lead a beautiful program, and please sign up for Daily Growth if you haven't yet, because that discipline of intention will powerfully change your life. Thank you, Laura, Annette, Marcia, for being here live. Thank you to those of you watching the replay. We'll see you on another call soon. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.